Hi, everyone, and thank you for joining us again for another Pivot Artist interview. Today we're talking with Garrett Etsitty, Dine artist and Fort Lewis College alumni, and we're really excited to get the lowdown on your art and your past at Fort Lewis College.
Awesome.
So I am just going to jump right into questions. First question is, how did you join the Pivot Show?
Pivot. I met Dwayne, we just recently got acquainted, but this was back in 2007. Really admired each other's work, and we kind of clicked from there, him being a hobby artist and I being a Dene artist. And also with Landis as well, Landis Bahi, I was pretty much familiar with his work. Landis is pretty much an OG, what they say. He's been in the game for a very, very long time. And I always admired Landis's work. Also, the late Bahi Whitethorn Jr. So both of them out in Flagstaff. That's how I got familiarized with that style of art and just observing. So this was when I was going to school at Fort Lewis back in 2008, 9, and 10, 11, 12. I really observed the work, and I pretty much kind of just analyzed that. And through them, just knowing Dwayne, that he was acquainted with these guys, it kind of, I just wanted to build that relation with him. So that's pretty much how it all started, and just knowing each other. And that's how they pretty much asked me to join the Pivot Show.
And so as a follow-up to that question, we've been asking everyone what pivot means to them. Like Dwayne and Landis have explained that a lot. I think what personally pivot means to them as the curators, but how about you as one of the artists?
It's more of shifting cultures, due to how the indigenous population, once upon a time, we were very traditional, and also being westernized as a whole, us identifying who we are as Native Americans, and also just tying in with our roots and moving forward with these teachings and songs and prayers that our elders left us. We are the messengers pretty much, but more of we do universal healing. In a way, how I observe Pivot is that way of shifting towards the youth, and that's pretty much just kind of be like a balance of two worlds, Western and traditional. And if you could pretty much twirl and pretty much keep balance in between those two worlds, then you are pretty much pivoting both sides and back. And with that, as skateboard culture, you're doing it with style, you're doing it with pretty much having that universal knowledge, and also shifting into other dimensions and worlds, that other point of views that you could go with this skateboard art.
Yeah, definitely. Shifting a little bit, how did you first get into art?
When I was little, I was doodling pretty much at ceremonies. I would sit in the Hogan in a ceremonial setting, observe my elders, pretty much sand painting, observing pretty much how they said prayers and songs, and just the rhythm of the music that they sang throughout the whole night. I would just kind of follow with it. And so, I didn't sing when I was young, but I just doodled on the ground and just like playing with the fire, hitting against the ground and making all these textures. And from there, I started observing more into it, and also just the petroglyphs in the cave walls, petroglyphs in the canyon walls, out in Canyon Duché, just observing and looking at those symbolism. And where I live at, there's a place called Bonzagas. It's a traditional name that my great grandma was chased by the U.S. soldiers, and during that time, she rode her horse up a cinder pit, and these soldiers couldn't catch her. But anyway, behind that area where I'm originally from, there's these old sheep. I call them sheep head petroglyphs, and you'll see like old style, rock carvings, and it had like really, really cool texture. So a lot of that I've been seen that as a little kid because I used to sheep camp for my grandma and kind of watch out for the cattle and whatnot, but mainly just sheep. And when I used to climb on the rocks, I used to see all these old kind of like rock drawings, and they were really detailed. And there's like this guy bull riding, pretty much roping calves, and you'll see like grandma holding hands, and it's really cool. I mean, it's like back in 1901 to 1915 to I seen like 1945 petroglyphs, like sheep camp. I call them sheep camp petroglyphs. So it's pretty cool. So since then, I just really appreciate the art form, and also just having uncles that role modeled for me in a way that they were pretty much in the game, knowing the business part of it. No, they, the late R.C. Gorman, I observed them when I was a little kid. My uncle, Boyd Sosi Sr., he was also a famous jeweler worldwide. Both of them, just observing both of their styles and just admiring what they did, just put here on earth just to put a message out to the people, and just their works of art just healed people. It's like, as Native Americans, that was pretty much the only thing that I could communicate with with the community, because, a lot of times, I just stayed home and just pretty much made a nice name, community name for myself, doing little paintings and drawings, and got into graphite. After that, I started doing like little mini cartoons, and I started selling them at school. So since then, when I started producing more art and people were interested, then that's how I was getting into the art field. And also just having my relatives saying that I was intelligent and smart, that I was going to be someone in the future. So sure enough, I took that to heart, and I started to believe it.
You'll have to come check out, or I don't know if you've seen them before, some of the R.C. Gormans in the center's collection sometime. They're truly beautiful. Yeah.
Awesome. My phone's about to die out, so I'm going to get it charged while we speak.
Okay, we're live here.
We're moving. We're mobile now.
Can you walk and talk? Look, that's a nice view too. So the next question is, there's a lot of unrest right now. There's the pandemic and Black Lives Matter movement and everything like that. And art seems like it's really important. Why do you think art, like how is art serving you right now, I guess?
Art's pretty much keeping me sane right now. Just more of a coping skill, and also me teaching art and helping the youth as well. I'm also an art therapist here at the Gila River, and right now I'm currently utilizing art for the Native American youth here. Just more of a coping skill, and also just knowing that us as Native American people, we communicate with our hands a lot, and we also have visual learners. So a lot of that I'm incorporating art into mostly in their treatment plans. So I've been utilizing symbolism, also just capturing the youth's mind, and just kind of something bright and something more contemporary would catch their eye, and just knowing that I could explain the story to them, kind of like a more universal indigenous story, and just kind of intertwine with them of having that self-identity. So in a way here with this whole COVID, just utilizing art, it's a really good coping skill, and also it's medicine art. It also heals our minds, souls, and our spirits, and also we could utilize that energy to heal other people too as well. Due to Navajo sand paintings and old art forms that they utilized a long time ago just to heal people, certain colors. All indigenous people have certain primary colors. We all utilize certain colors that we are familiar with, and each color represents our mind, body, souls, and spirit. So it's very important, art.
Yeah, I think that's a really good way to frame it too. This kind of touches on that concept and some of the other things that you talked about in previous questions, but we like to ask kind of what it means to be a Native artist to you, and how that impacts your art, and some of those same things with like symbology and, the continuation of a lot of messages, but it's interesting to hear. So we'd love to have you talk more on that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with this whole being a Native American artist, we could either choose the path of what we desire and what we're put on earth. Depends on the spirituality. Some people are here to put a message. Some people are here, because they are really good at it. And if you could really intertwine with the spirituality with it, then eventually you'll pretty much know what's your mission here on earth. And that's how I kind of identified it with myself too, just utilizing art in that way, just getting connected into the elements of life and just being a messenger. And also what's happening, it's very, 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 difficult time right now just to keep ourselves sane, but also it's just healing for ourselves. And just pretty much with this whole movement, I think that, us, putting a message out there, we could serve the community as being a revolutionist, or we could either, provide for our home and identify ourselves, who we are as Native American people, to also mold and shape our own home through art, and just help the people like that, and just kind of self-heal them, or heal themselves, sorry.
That reminds me a bit of Landis's answer. I mean, he was very like that connection between the spirituality and the art, being a Native artist, like really bringing those elements together. So you guys are on the same page there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's our last question, and you graduated from Fort Lewis College in 2012, it sounds like, and from the art and design department. Can you tell us a little bit about your time at Fort Lewis? And also how you feel like now you're back on campus in this exhibit, and how does that feel to kind of return to campus in this format?
I always knew that I'll be returning back soon, just being part of the art scene there. The last time we did a successful show was called, we did the senior show. It was a very, very, very success, and that we invited a lot of these Native American artists there, and we performed pretty much live music, and it was a memorable moment. And being at FLC, I learned a lot, just prepping me to be where I'm at. And with this, how the art department, kind of like that, a lot of discipline that I learned from them just to mold myself, knowing how to be an artist and also as a businessman. That came from Fort Lewis, and that, I carried most of those ways of thinking, and also just interpreting, what I learned to the youth here, just encouraging them that they could also be successful, utilizing, what's given to us at Fort Lewis. And with that, the history of how Fort Lewis became, just informed them, like how it was a boarding school at once upon a time with the youth community. And also they are pretty much really interested with the kids here. So, I really love Fort Lewis, and that's a blessing, as an honor to be part of the show and being part of the Southwest, just the Southwest studies. I'm pretty much familiar with the whole area, and just knowing that I'm sure it's really different now due to how it was back in 2012. So I know that there's a lot of growth at the campus. And it's an honor to be honest. It's a blessing.
Well, the show looks beautiful, and we're excited to share it with you. So
yeah, I'm hoping that we can, meet you in person and host you at some point to get you back on campus, see the show, and work with us on some other things, and show you some cool things in our collection too that can inspire. But also, I would personally, I don't know, I love your pieces, so I'm trying to think of ways to afford some of your amazing art, but I can start with stickers. But we just wanted to say thank you so much for chatting with us today, and to everyone watching this. You can follow Garrett on Instagram at KRNG_1N3 to see all of his awesome art, and you can visit his website at garrettetsitty.com. You can find all of your Pivot content and more at pivot_skateboard_deck_exhibit on Instagram. Follow us at the center at Center SW Studies FLC on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all of those things. And we also want to give a shout out to some of the people who helped support Pivot financially, getting it to the center and FLC, like the LPEA Roundup Grant and our other crowdfunding donors. So thank you to them. Your support means a lot. And thank you to Garrett. Thanks for chatting today.
Thank you for chatting with us.
You're welcome, more than welcome. So you guys have a good one.
Yes.
You too.
Alrighty.